We're about to learn today. Yeah, we're about to get educated. A frog and a toad. Straight off the bat, a frog and a toad. It sounds so gross when you say it like that. So apparently toads have shorter legs in comparison to frogs. But what is the difference between the two? I used to always get these ones mixed up, and there is always that one kid in class that likes to tease the person that doesn't know the difference between a frog and a toad. They look the same. One has shorter legs. Oh, cool. And I was meant to know that? When was I gonna learn that? At the age of 24, that's when. So toads don't have to jump as much as frogs do. Fun fact for you. The more you know. I told you we were walking into today's video with some education. All right, we learned it. We motherfucking learned it. Bananas. You know, those things that you chuck in your smoothie and you chuck in your breakfast. We love to eat them. They're delicious. I'm hungry. But what is a plantain? Am I pronouncing that correctly? I don't even know. I've never heard of a plantain. Like when I look at the image of a plantain, I just see like a banana that's not ripe yet, no? I'm so confused. Don't worry. I know I'm here to get educated today. We're learning together. I'm not the smartest in the bunch, and I'm showing that today. Plantains look similar to unripe yellow bananas. Well, that's what I said. Did you not hear me say that? Did you? I just said that. Plantains actually belong to the banana family, but they're high in starch and low in sugar. So they don't taste like the tasty bananas that we all know and love. They remain green when they become ripe and should always be cooked before eating. So what if you're walking down the street? You think, beautiful green banana. It'll be ripe in no time. It never goes yellow. You think, you know what? I'm just gonna give it a crack anyways. Then bananas are ruined for you forever. Because I'm telling you, if it's not sweet and you actually have to cook it, but you don't know that, and then you try it, I feel like it would ruin bananas forever. Look at me like, how could this be the worst thing in the world? That's how. You go into it thinking you're gonna have a tasty, tasty treat, and you're disappointed with a high in starch, low in sugar beverage. A high in starch, low in sugar snack treat. Beverage. A possum and an opossum. There's a thing called an opossum. Is the O silent? I'm so confused. Opossum and possum belong to different animal groups. How? Why you gotta do me like that, Mother Nature? Why is one called possum and one's an opossum and they've got nothing to do with each other? Different animal groups. How? Why? You just running out of names? We have so many letters in the alphabet. Can't you just pick like something else? You can name it anything you want. This is the definition of lazy. It's like, this kind of looks like a possum. Let's just chuck an O on the front. Just change it up, you know? Opossums primarily. Am I pronouncing this correctly? I probably am not pronouncing this correctly. Opossum? A possum. A possum? Primarily inhabit North America and can be recognized by their white heads and grayish bodies. Possums live in Australia and have smaller heads and fur that is almost the same color all over their body. I live in Australia. This is true. We all know this. Possums used to live in the ceiling. That used to be like a well-known thing. When you live in the bush, you live in the outback, as I once did, they hide in the roof. And then you got to try and catch them. Catch the possums and their babies. I used to be terrified because you can hear their little like feet just in the roof at night. It's terrifying. I'm getting PTSD talking about it. But I had no idea when they're talking about possums, or opossums, as some would call them, in American movies and stuff, that it's not the same possum that we have here in Australia. My mind is blown. The more you know. The more you motherfucking know. Now this one's a little bit controversial. Some people agree with the names of these beautiful things. We've got first, Biscuits, the name of my dog. We're not referring to my dog as we talk about biscuits, but Biscuits. And then we got Cookies. Now, I definitely separate the two. When I talk about a cookie, it's like a biscuit, but it's got like chocolate chips or some sort of like filling within the biscuit. I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like in America, I haven't read the description yet, but in America, they call cookies, like cookies are biscuits. Everything's just cookies. I could be wrong. I don't know. Both biscuits and cookies refer to flour-based baked goods. Wow. Biscuits are usually more crunchy and can be either sweet or salty. Cookies are mostly sweet and may contain some filling like chocolate chips or nuts. Now, if a biscuit isn't sweet, I would kind of call it a cracker. Like a biscuit needs to be sweet in order to be a biscuit. Then we got crackers, which are kind of savory. Then we got cookies, which is a biscuit with some filling. You know, you kind of just judge the moment whenever you're handed a biscuit or a cookie or a cracker. I'm really hungry now, god damn. In saying that though, since I got a dog and named it Biscuit, although I have such a love for biscuits, every time I eat biscuits now, I think of my dog and I'm like, this ain't right. This ain't right. Now this one, of course, as an Australian, it ticks me off when people think that we put shrimps on the barbie. We don't. I don't even think we eat shrimps here, do we? I can't remember the last time I ate a shrimp. it's just not a thing. Prawns are just the norm, you know? Like, you don't go and get king shrimp at a restaurant. It's a king prawns. I'm so confused. So the difference is that shrimps and prawns have different anatomy. Prawns have claws on 6 of their legs, while shrimp have them on only 4 legs. Oh my God, this is a lot for Tannar's brain to handle. Shrimp are apparently way smaller and live in salty water, while prawns can only survive in fresh water. Wow. The more you no. Except when I look at this, it's like, that looks more like a prawn to me. Like, that's what I recognize as like a king prawn. I'm so confused. And also, you can get baby prawns. School prawns, I think they're called. And they're like this big. So I'm like, is that a shrimp? Have I been calling a shrimp a prawn all these years? I'm gonna have to look into this because I feel like I may have been lying to myself this entire time. I don't know. All of these that I look at, I'm like, I did do this as a kid. Like, when I first decided to do this as a video, I was like, I never got these confused. A llama and an alpaca. Of course I did. It's always that moment where you say llama and you're always waiting for somebody to correct you. They're like, it's an alpaca. Get it right. It's like, well, they look like distant cousins. Pretty much twins. They literally look like they're related. I'm sorry if I got them confused, all right? Sue me. Llamas are way bigger than alpacas and have remarkably long and curled ears. Guys, you gotta remember the ears. If you ever see an alpaca, just look for the ears because it's probably a llama. Alpacas, they travel in herds, whereas apparently llamas have a more independent and individualist nature. So you'll see alpacas running in a crowd. Llamas, they're probably all by themselves. Easy. I'm going to remember none of this. I already know it. I'm like walking down the street. I see a lone llama. I'm like, alpaca. It's an alpaca. What I'm trying to figure out is when you travel on Australian roads, sometimes on farms, you see either a llama or an alpaca. I don't know which one it is. Was I looking at a llama or an alpaca? I'm so confused. Is there both in Australia? Is there llamas in Australia? No, only alpacas apparently. So there was alpacas on our family farm. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. There was an alpaca on my family farm. His name was Jeff. So I can see what one it is. It's turtle and tortoise. Before I read the description, tortoises can't swim. Boom, mic drop. Let me see if I'm right. Turtles prefer water and can live both on land and water. Tortoises dwell on land and don't go swimming. Did you see that? Tannar was educated. She knew what she was talking about. Tortoises do not swim. This is a really bad thing though, because a lot of people get turtles and tortoises confused and they see a tortoise on the road and they're like, oh, don't worry, I got you, fam. I'm gonna put you back in the water. It's like, tortoises can't swim. Don't do that. No, don't do it. Don't do it. This is a very easy mistake. A mistake that I've made many times. Did I make a tortoise go swimming? No. But I always go, oh, that's a turtle when it's a tortoise and vice versa. And once again, there's always that one person that wants to correct you. It's like, come on, man. Like, I'm not making this tortoise go swimming. Let me just mix them up real quick. I do remember a time when Lennon and I went to the reptile park and we saw this huge 150-year-old tortoise. It was massive. I'm like, damn, she thick. I will admit though, turtles kind of look a little bit cuter. Like, look at their little patterns. They look a little bit brighter, a little bit happier. Tortoises are like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here. I'm just chilling, you know? When I was growing up, I always wanted a little pet turtle. Like, you know, the little baby ones? Maybe I should get a pet turtle. What do you guys reckon? Should I get a pet turtle? Tempted. Now, this is one of those ones where I didn't even realize that they were different. A graveyard and a cemetery. Aren't they the same thing? I feel like my entire life has been a lie. I've been calling a cemetery a graveyard and vice versa. Wow, people must be looking at me like I'm an idiot. Every graveyard is a cemetery, but not every cemetery is a graveyard. Oh my Lord, I'm so confused. Every graveyard is a cemetery, but not every cemetery is a graveyard. Is a graveyard like where you can actually go and have the funeral maybe? I'm so confused. In the past, it was only possible to bury the deceased on lands that were owned by the church, and these lands were called graveyards. Later, with the growth of population, the church's land capacity wasn't large enough, so separate cemeteries were created. Okay, so you have the funeral at the graveyard and then you take them to a cemetery. So some graveyards have cemeteries, but cemeteries don't have graveyards. Oh, that's a lot for my small little brain to handle. Like, my 2 little brain cells are like, you could do this, Tannar, you can figure it out. A jacket and a coat. These are just such obvious things that I'm like, I didn't even know that there was a difference. Jackets are usually waist length and maybe lighter and fit tighter in comparison to coats. Coats are always an outerwear piece that should be hip length or longer. I just feel like I need to drop a mic because I don't know what's going on. My brain's like, when? Where? I've been calling jacket and coats the same thing. Actually, I feel like I always just call it a jacket. I'm never like, can you grab me my coat, please? I'm always just like, can you just grab me my jacket? Any piece of outerwear, I'm like, it's a jacket. Maybe coat's kind of more fancy, and I'm not really that fancy. Tablets and pills, there's a difference? See, it's getting to the point where I'm like, why was I not made aware of these? Hey, at least at the age of 24, I'm walking away educated, all right? A pill is a general term that refers to medicaments that contain medication in a solid form like tablets, capsules, and soft gels. Tablets specifically refer to medicine with a round shape that may vary in size. Okay, cool. I'm confused. I have no idea what's going on. That description gave me absolutely nothing. What's a tablet? What's a pill? Who f***ing knows? I don't know. You don't know. None of us know. I feel like I'm very confused, but I'm also feeling educated as hell. I give up.